Before you watch the video, let's be clear here that this only covers the first update of NASB. It doesn't cover the new update that came out on October 18th. And even though this update did bring in some fixes that I had in this video, there's still some problems that update did not fix. So I hope you still enjoyed the video though. What's good with y'all? It's ThunderzReign here, and you already know I'm about to talk about some of the worst things that exist right now in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. But before we even get started, I would like y'all to maybe, drop a like, hit that sub button, because I just started this channel. I just want to get big and potentially become like a big content creator sometime in the future. So I would really appreciate if y'all could help me out with that department. Let's get straight into things. So what's one big thing that's going on right now? We've seen all these tournaments that everyone is playing Michelangelo. Why is everyone doing that? Well, it's very simple. He's really the best character there is because of one thing, his move Nair. The one thing about that move is it's a big hitbox that he spins his nunchucks out at you. What it does has one hitbox that sends you kind of like up. The big one that we're talking about here is the one that sends you down. It doesn't send you like down immediately. You're like slowly just spinning in the air and falling. What that allows Mikey to do is to grab you, up throw, and he just does like 2 nairs into regrab. He can do that rinse and repeat. He does that to everyone in the cast. Only like, some of the lighter characters, they can't do it as often, but he doesn't need to because you just throw him off stage and just hit him with the nair anyway. But the most important thing is that combo leads into like a 0 to death. You're at the edge of the stage because he could just up throw, nair you, and then hits one more nair and he picks you up and he just tosses you just straight down and you're just dead at 50. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and that character is really ruining the game because he just makes it so everyone plays him. Like no one wants to play other characters. People drop their mains. Like for one player I could bring up who dropped their main to play Mikey was Flex. He normally plays Lucy, but switch over to Mikey after seeing how dumb that fucking character was. Another bad thing about this game that we can move on to is the bad netcode. This game supposedly has rollback, which it does, but the problem with this rollback is not very good, right? We have people teleporting, completely just jittering back and forth, and it's very hard to tell if you hit somebody or you didn't. The problem with that is because it's a one-sided thing. Whoever is the host of a game, for instance, like if you are hosting a game, you will not be feeling those bad netcode effects of rollbacking all the time because for some reason the person who joins in, who's your opponent, is gonna feel it instead, and that in itself is a really shitty thing because that means tournaments can also be determined by someone who's hosting and who's not. And me recently learning about that just makes me think it's wow. That's like so wild, right? This whole time my opponent was really hosting the lobby because they knew about this exploit before I did. They knew like, oh, if they hosted the lobby it wouldn't be lagging as much as if they didn't, and that really makes competitive a joke. The integrity of it is just all a joke if you're just playing just to see who will host the lobby first. And even then, if you don't play like that, you still would have to make it so you would have to take turns to see who's gonna host the next game after the other. So if you win game 1 and you were hosting, now you have to hand it over to your opponent, and now they're hosting and they're gonna get all the advantage now. They're just a really shitty thing in my opinion. I wish it wasn't part of this game. Next thing I want to talk about is the imbalance of characters. As we all know, compared to the bottom tier, like the bottom 5 characters to the top 5, is a really big disparity in power and what characters can do. For instance, people want to compare like Patrick. You compare that character to like Michelangelo, and you guys see night and day. Like Patrick is such a bad character. I feel like in order to fix that, we would probably need some balance changes regarding the characters, like buff Patrick up, make him a more playable or like a competitive viable character who doesn't have to struggle with all these high tiers and actually be fun to play. Well, he still is fun, it's just he's just not very good. That goes for some other characters too, like Toph is not very good, Cora, the list just goes on. And like the fact that it just kind of just separates the cast between who has a good combo tool like Nair that combos into itself and who doesn't, and that kind of determines if you're a good character. That's like what separates the good characters from the bad ones. Another problem as part of this game is that why can you grab in both directions, right? Why can you go, oh, I'm blocking this way, but if he lands behind me I can still turn around and grab him this way? In my opinion, that doesn't blend well in a game where grab is very strong. When grab is very strong and you're making it so that people can do it in both directions, that really just makes it so grab is just broken. It's just overpowered tool that people can abuse in order to win. You're looking at me over here, Mr. Shield Grabber. So people be abusing it to its full extent. It's really frustrating because it kind of defeats the purpose of crossing up your opponent. Most of the time when you make decisions on like other platform fighters like Super Smash Brothers, you see like your opponent's facing this way, so you want to cross them up so they can't grab you if you do an unsafe aerial. But it doesn't matter in this game. If you do an unsafe aerial, you could literally just get grabbed from the back because you could turn around and grab. It's like, why? I heard from somebody that it was originally in Slap City, but they just took it out because it's too broken, and I'm not sure as to why they decided like, oh, let's bring it back in this game and it'll be balanced. I don't get it. It doesn't really make sense to me. Moving on to the next topic. Another thing that's pretty boring about this game, or is really bad, I would say, why does everyone have like the same combo tree, same moves into dare, whatever? You know, a lot of people like to bring this point into perspective where like a lot of characters have the same combo. It's not really unique in any way. Like you compare it to like Melee or Project M, or even maybe Ultimate too, but like you see like most characters in this game, like compare like SpongeBob, like Leonardo, Oblina, these three characters do like the same combos where they do nair across the stage and then they just dare their opponent to death. It's like, wow, it's like everyone has the same combo. It's not very impressive at this point, right? If everyone has it, like, wow, what's so special about it now? And you know, it just shows how like this game is not very flexible and fluid when it comes to combos. You're just stuck on doing these one certain things, and people will be like, oh, why do you only do that? It's like, well, what else can I do in this game? It doesn't give you much to work with. I feel like that in itself, it destroys creativity when it comes to making combos and just to try to be original in this game. It's like, if you've done something, probably someone already done it already. So that's why I feel like this is some bad points about this game. Another thing I don't like, or I think is bad, is the RPS heavy attack mechanic in this game. How heavy attacks works is that there's no clanking in this game, or I should say there is clanking in this game on aerial moves. However, for some reason, if an opponent does a heavy down aerial and you do an up heavy, or you're on the ground, you do a heavy up move, it beats them and they end up in this tumbling state where you're spinning around and you get a free hit on them. In my opinion, I don't like that mechanic at all. I feel like this RPS mechanic is not really necessity. I feel as though it should reward players instead for spacing around these moves and like either stuffing them out before they happen, instead of just trying to RPS like, oh, they're gonna do this move, I'm gonna try to counter. I guess it rewards you in the fact that you can call people out for doing their hard or heavy down aerial, but at that point, like, why would I even want that? Like, why not just make it so like I can just straight up just call him out and just beat him on it? Because when you try to beat this aerial out with like a light attack, you straight up just can't beat it. It just clanks with it and you just get pushed away as if like nothing happened. It's like you're hitting a wall or something, and I don't really like that mechanic at all. I wish you just make it so you can beat moves out instead of me having to, you know, counter this move specifically with this one move only. Down loses to up, down beats neutral, and neutral beats up. Like a RPS thing. I don't really like it either. Another thing I don't like is the grab confirms into super moves. Characters like Lucy Loud has this one move she gets when she bites you. She bites you, eats you, right? Just get that one chomp on you. Even if you're blocking, she gets it too. She gets this thing called vampire mode where her down B turns into a coffin move, which is a really big hitbox, and it does 5%, by the way, only 5, but this move, it kills you at like 30. It makes no sense. She could grab you and throw you into it, and then she coffins out and like, surprise, you're fucking dead. If in my opinion, it's just really dumb. I don't think this game really needs that, because we already get a lot of things off of grabs, right? People get a lot of conversions off of grabs in general. You get one, like I said earlier, Mikey, up throw, nair. It's like, we don't need that. Leonardo gets a grab, he can get a grab into like up throw into fair, or you know, nair, whatever. We don't need like these super confirms that just kills people at 30%. It like doesn't make the game fun at all. Maybe for the person who likes doing that to other people, I don't know. You know, I think in general it's just not a very good mechanic. Another thing, why does this game have competitive stages, right? You load up your rank, you're like, I'm feeling a little competitive today. Next thing you know, you load up Rooftop Rumble, and this stage is unplayable. It is so laggy, running at like 20 frames per second. It's like, why is this a thing? Why did they release this game and make it so like this competitive stage is laggy? I guess, you know, we gotta understand that they did have like a time constraint that they had to work on, you know, where they had to complete this game at this specific date. So I get it, we made a mistake here, but they released a patch for this game where they didn't even fix that at all. They just got rid of like some infinites, like some glitches in the game where you can't tech, or like the sandy jab infinite. That's not a thing I could really complain about now since it's gone, but why is the laggy stage still here? I guess it maybe requires a lot more patching than the Tekken glitch and the jab infinite was, but still, that is not something that I'm okay with. Like, I played some of my matches in tournament, like literally this day, where I had to play on that stage and it was really laggy. It was like, it was not really playable. It was like running at 20 frames and they expected me to take this game seriously when it's looking like that. I was like, no, that's not something I want to even deal with, you know? Lastly, I gotta say, one of the bad things about this game is that some moves are just not finished or poorly programmed. One of them being Oblina's dare. She does this move with down air. It lasts literally 18 frames. That lasts really long, and she could do it immediately after the other one. Except there's one issue with this. Like, that move, for some reason, it has a hitbox even though she stopped doing the move already. Like, she swings her hand down like, yeah, like this. All of a sudden when she like lifts her hand up, she still has that hitbox on her. If you get touched by that, you're getting sent down. Another move I could say that is like not working properly is April's strong down air. In the air, that move should only lose to like up specials, right, or up heavies, but for some reason that move loses to down heavies, which, you know, that's not working as intended. There's some things in here that are just not functioning right. I don't know why. Like, there's another thing with the broken character too, Michelangelo. His up air, for some reason, has a hitbox that doesn't work. His hitbox that makes it straight up, just so he does his up air and he swings it upwards, but it can't hit like someone who's like in front of him. For some reason, the hitbox, it shows the hitbox going there, but it straight up just doesn't hit at all. So I don't know what's up with that. But that's literally it. That's like all my problems with Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. And, you know, I hope down the line we can do something about this. Hope the developers, they obviously are watching these tournaments go down and everything. They probably know already what they need to fix. We just gotta give them time, and hopefully the game could turn out to be a lot better than it was. That's the best we can hope for. There's nothing else we can do. This is supposed to be the game that replaces Ultimate, because, you know, it has support from the developers and everything. It has a lot of potential in being a competitive platform fighter that brings together all people from different platform fighting communities, such as Slap, Ultimate, Melee, Project M, you know. So, you know, it has a lot of potential. It's gonna be a little dumb when it first starts off, of course. That's how some things work. Once they fix it, hopefully, you know, it'll be all good. Until then, you know, we just gotta pray and just deal with it for now. Yo, if you like the content, be sure to drop a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see some more content, and make sure to leave a comment. And if you want to see some of these moments live that are used in these clips, then be sure to check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ThunderzReign. So any support helps, homies, and, you know, I appreciate y'all, and I hope to see you soon. Y'all take care, and, you know, bye bye.